Good evening, everyone. Eugene Koh here. If you can hear me, can you type a 1 or 2 in the chat? Okay, I realize that no one can type in the chat. Okay, so it's fine. Or maybe you can type to host and panelists if you can hear me. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so today, welcome to our ERA Ultimate Consumer Seminar. Today's topic is on the future of ECs. Our speakers, James Poh and Jackie Lim, are our project directors for Copen Grant, Altura, and Lumina Grant. James Poh, 20 years in the real estate market and widely recognized as the EC guru in ERA. Jackie has been with ERA for over a decade. He is a problem solver and has the ability to offer insightful advice to his clients and agents. So today, what will they be covering? Firstly, are executive condos still affordable and profitable? Why are ECs launching in Bukit Batok? And what is the impact on recent changes to HDB policies and their impact on EC prices? And lastly, they will also go through in-depth EC cost analysis and a simple 3 steps to identify the right property to buy. To start off today's consumer seminar, over to you, Jackie.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Eugene, for the nice introduction. All right, so without further ado, I think I will just jump into the topic for today. I'll be covering more of the balancing affordability, and James will touch on the futures of EC and luxury in urban living. All right, so let me just share my screen. All right, so before I begin, I just need to have the usual disclaimer that this presentation is for information purpose only. It should be viewed in conjunction with any oral presentation by our ERA salesperson, right? So I think the main questions that we have now is, are ECs still affordable? Because recently there was this article that came out in the newspapers. So rising new EC prices is a concern for buyers. So I'd like to address this question that are ECs still affordable? All right. So why are people having this concern is that, well, recent transactions have shown that EC has hit 1,004 to 1,005 per square foot in the recent EC launches. And what will happen going forward is that, there will be a loan shortfall in terms of many EC buyers, whereby they cannot get a very high loan because of all the restriction in places. So what they actually suggest is to increase the income ceiling. So I'll be touching a bit on income ceiling as well, why it will affect the buyers of today. And last but not least, I would also like to touch on the latest land cost of the latest EC bidded by another developer at the Jalan Loyang Besar area, which is in Pasir Ris. So this one is actually at 729 square feet, almost 100 PSF higher than the existing EC launches, right? And this one, James will touch more on the land cost later. I'm not going to cover this part, but James will be touching a lot more on the land cost, right? So how do we know that EC is still affordable and very entry-level purchase for a private property? We know that government has actually imposed a monthly household ceiling cap of 16,000 for eligible buyers, right? And also there is a MSR, which means that you can only use 30% of your income to actually service the loan, which means that for every 10,000 you earn, you can only use 3,000 to pay for the monthly installment, right? So with these two things in place, developers will also knows that EC buyers has a lot of restriction. They cannot bid too high for a particular land, if not they will have to sell. So why are developers bidding even higher? They know that EC stock is low and the buyers are still able to afford to be able to buy. So who are the buyers and how are they buying? I'm touching a bit on this. So income ceiling and MSR is key to low prices, right? Any EC launch you go, you know that it will be slightly lower. In fact, it's about 20% lower than any other launches that is in the market at the moment. So income ceiling is tied to median household income. I have a lot of inquiries like, hey, Jackie, will government consider increase the income ceiling, etc.? I think that with the current prices that the government is trying to cap the price of private properties and HDBs, they don't want prices to rise too fast, right? So how they actually peg all this income ceiling to Singapore median household income. So if let's say the income is going up very high and the median incomes go up, then the government will do the necessary adjustment. So for now, I think that they have increased to 16K is still the median income thereabout, because if they increase for the ECs, they might also need to increase for the HDBs. So if they increase for the HDB prices will go up, which is the last thing the government wants at the current moment, because we all know that something is happening soon, right? So I think the government does not want to take this in the foreseeable near future at the moment, right? So as I mentioned, developers bid for EC lands with knowledge of this income ceiling, right? So they actually need to price it very sensitively to the people who are eligible and able to buy, right? So they have a limited budget. So if developers dare to bid at that price, they can launch slightly higher, or they will just launch at a similar price range, just a minimal price increase, but they have a slightly smaller margin. All right. So we come back to the question, are EC really cheap? It all depends on a matter of perspective, right? $1 million house is not cheap anymore, but to be honest, what can you buy with $1 million nowadays? I would say yes, if you compare it to the existing private properties, right? Which is why a lot of people want to buy ECs. We always have a lot of inquiry for ECs, but they realize they are unable to buy either because they are second timer or they currently own a private property or they have exceeded the income ceiling, right? So they need to plan ahead if they want to buy the EC, because there are quite a number of restrictions in place. So if you are keen on buying an EC, you can speak to your agent on what are the steps to take to ensure that you are actually within the income ceiling, and how to go about getting the loan for the EC, because the calculation is slightly different. I'll be touching a bit on the calculation, but not too deep because I don't want to bore you all with too many numbers. All right, so EC versus private, just to show you the sense of affordability. I think any private new launch, if you go to the market, you can find a small 3-bedroom for maybe 1.8 million in the nearby district, right? So if let's say you go to the private, you need to take a total down payment of 512,000. But for ECs, we actually can do a comparison. Let's say an EC with 3-bedroom, the price is about $1.5 million. Right? So there's also a deferred payment scheme for ECs whereby you just need to pay 20% upfront and the rest you can pay upon TOP. Right? So you can see the difference in the down payment is 168,000. Right? So for the purchase price with a lower and 5% lower in down payment, you actually have a lot lesser down payment. Right? So just to throw back some questions, if there's no MSR for ECs, what would be the current price of the ECs? So if let's say EC will follow a private, I think the EC price will be very similar to a private new launch, which is what I don't think a lot of people want, the government wants also, because they want to keep EC price low so as to be attainable for more people who are within the income ceiling range. So why is there usually a spike in EC price after MOP? I would say the answer would be the removal of MSR after MOP. Because when you sell your EC after the 5 years MOP, right, the next buyer actually don't need to subject themselves to MSR. They actually go through the TDSR. So from an increase of 30% loan, you actually can get a 50%, 55% loan now. The price usually will just go up because of affordability and people can loan more. Right? So what if the government just, after reading all the affordability issue, they'll increase the price to the MSR to 35%, I believe the first thing that will happen is the price will increase due to a higher loan for the buyers. And what if, let's say, they really increase the income ceiling to 18K, right? They have done so in the past from 12 to 14 to 16, the current one. What if they increase to 18,000? The same thing will happen when they increase from 14,000 to 16,000. The developer will increase the price because the buyers have now, the pool of buyers is now open to a wider pool of people, and buyers, end of the day, will have to fork out more for the down payment. And the 16K income Singaporean get priced out. You can see that the price, right, have for many people, when they say, I want to wait for the next EC to come up, might be cheaper, everything. But what's happened over the years is the price did not come down, and many of the people who waited and waited, they actually get priced out because the pool of buyers are getting bigger, and the people with the lower income find it harder to afford, right? So this is why income ceiling and MSR is the key to low prices. So for example, this was what happened over the few years as well. Why is affordability an issue? Interest rate has been going up for the past many years after COVID. So the bank actually tweaked their the interest, that the way they count, to the median term interest rate from 4% to actually 4.5%. So if you look at the top right hand corner, even with a 16K income with a 30 years loan, the maximum loan that you can actually get for 16K income is actually 947,000, which brings us to the shortfall. And let's say you are young, you are 30 years old, then you can loan until another 30 years. But let's say if your age gets older, right, that means your loan tenure will be even shorter, and your loan will be even lower. So I would say, if possible, buy as young as you can, because that's where you can have the longest loan tenure, right? So you have a lesser shortfall. If you wait, the price go up and your loan will become shorter. So just to give a very quick example, a 3-bedroom EC nowadays is about 1.4 to 1.5 million. So the income ceiling is about 16K. So I just use an example, Mr. and Mrs. Tan, they're looking at the EC. So bank actually give them in principle approval for their loan. Probably they have looking at EC. So if you look at my model over here, so we actually have this app for our ERA salesperson. So you can talk to your ERA salesperson to actually understand more about getting an EC loan. We have this EC Wiz, right? So they can advise you. So based on 16K income, you realize that the loan is only 63% out of a 1.5 million property. So there is a very huge shortfall, which means that you need to come up with a total cash upfront of $600,000 just for this EC, right? So with 16K income and 30 years loan, you still need to take out 600,000 cash plus CPF. So a lot of buyers say, my CPF is stuck in my current HDB. How is buying EC possible? Right? I still need to take out another 600K. I'm already a sandwich class person, and you're still asking me to take up so much cash. How is it possible? So we understand that, and that is why the article came out. So I'm here to address it. So executive condos have this, only for executive condo, you have this deferred payment scheme, right? And the importance of this to help you own a EC. Just hang on for a while. Just close off my. Oops, sorry. Sorry. Okay, so sorry about it. So let me just touch a bit on the deferred payment scheme. Deferred payment scheme is usually 3 to 4% higher than the normal payment scheme price. This is because after you pay 20%, someone has to absorb the cost. So developer will just hold the property for you all the way until TOP, and then they call for the payment, which is why it actually, that means you don't need to pay anything. You don't even need to pay the bank loan because it's not dispersed out yet. All right. So it allows you to use your current house to bridge the loan gap up to 80% of the purchase price, right? This is uniquely for EC also, right? For private, you only can bridge up, you can only loan up to 75, but EC with the bridging loan, you can actually bridge up to 80% of the purchase price. So you just need to pay 20% down payment, and the rest will be caught during TOP stage. That means you sell your house just before TOP, and the proceeds can be used to bridge the gap. All right. So it allows you to pay for your current home loan if you have any outstanding without paying any loan concurrently. So this is another advantage of EC if your financials are in order.
Excuse me, Jackie, are you still sharing the slide? Because we cannot see the slide.
Oh, sorry, you cannot see, is it?
Yes, I can only see you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry about it.
Yes, now it's all good. We can see
Okay.
the slide. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, sorry, back to this. Yeah, so DPS is actually 3 to 4% higher than the normal payment scheme. And then it allows you to bridge the gap up to 80% of the purchase price. And it allows you to just pay 20% and the rest during the TOP. And then you only need to pay for one loan. You don't need to pay for both loans concurrently. Right? So it also have this benefit of if eligible, you allow you to stay at home while waiting for the key collection. Right? So this is a sample of a deferred payment scheme. So the down payment, if you realize, has been reduced from 600,000 to just 358,000 because you only need to pay 20% down payment and the stamp duty. So how do we navigate the shortfall, right? Because there is still a loan shortfall of about 200,000. So with the deferred payment loan, you can actually take a bridging loan. So I'll just have a small quick example here with with a 700,000 valuation for a flat, right? And let's say you have an outstanding loan of 200,000. So what the bank will actually do is to take 80% of the flat valuation, right? And then they will less off your outstanding loan, which is about 200,000, and they will allow you to have a bridging loan of 360,000. So let's say you can loan up to 947,000 based on your age and income, with a bridging loan of 360,000. If you currently own a flat that has a valuation of 700,000 and outstanding loan of 200,000, you actually can obtain a total loan of up to 1.3 million and have a maximum purchase price of 1.63 million. Right? This allows you to buy a 3-bedroom EC at $1.5 million. All right. So this is how a lot of buyers, in the end, they manage to actually buy a EC. If you don't know the existence of a deferred payment scheme and just understand that, for EC, I only can have 30% MSR. You do not know that there's this bridging loan actually available for ECs. So you will think that you cannot buy an EC and you will think it's not affordable. But actually, you are able to do so after speaking to your agent. You actually realize that, hey, this scheme exists. I can actually buy an EC. I can actually afford to buy an EC. So on top of that, right, with a safety net, so I just do a quick calculation. So let's say you sell your HDB when the time comes, when you collect your keys, you less off the outstanding loan, which should be lesser than 200K, because after 1-2 years later, you pay up some of your existing loan, right? But I just take 200K for example, and then you less off the bridging loan, which is what is taken and paid to the bank. You still have a balance proceeds of 140,000. So this 140,000, you can use it to pay off resale levy if you have any. You can use it to pay off renovations and all. and some of your moving costs, right? So it is a very safe thing for you to do if your financials are somewhat like this, right? So I hope this bridging loan actually help you to understand that this thing exists, this scheme actually exists, and you can speak to your agent to understand more if you want a more in-depth financial calculation. Right. So another important thing about the current HDB prices, why is it so important? Because how it affects ECs in general. What I have noticed is that based on the recent price of the HDB, we realize that in the West, especially in Bukit Batok area, the prices have went up so much from 2021 to 2023. If you look from 2021 to 2023, the price growth is almost 33% in 2 years. Right, so this is in the Bukit Batok area, which is why I think well, government has the access to all this data, and I think that's the reason why they actually put aside certain lands for EC in the Bukit Batok area, because with all this increase in capital for the existing residents of Bukit Batok, they will have the access to the down payment for any EC, right? So we have after doing a few launches here, we really realize that a lot of the people who buy are staying in the Bukit Batok in the west area as well, right? So Bukit Batok HDB prices has went up from 350 to about 580 per square foot based on the data that we have. And you can see the number of units that TOP. I don't think this data is correct, but I'm actually screenshot this from HProp. I don't think the data is so, the number of units is so high because this is a whole town. But I think it should be at least 10,000 units of MOP units over there. So the government has data to all this. They actually deliberately plan Bukit Batok EC sites due to the number of MOP HDB to meet the demands of upgraders. Also in the nearby estate in Choa Chu Kang, Jurong West, there are also quite a number of MOP HDBs, right? So they were always looking for to upgrade their lifestyle. We don't need everyone to upgrade. We just need a small percentage to upgrade, and we'll be more than fully sold soon. All right. So Bukit Batok really sits at the top of the price growth. As you can see in the whole of Singapore, the Bukit Batok graph has actually shown the highest average price growth for 4-room flat in 2023. Right. Bukit Batok is really at the top of this area. And this is a HDB price index, okay, from all the way, and it was stagnant, in fact, downtrending from 2013 to 2022, right, where price really recovered and the surge has went all the way up since 2022. I don't think we ever see it coming down again, but that one we leave it for the future people to decide on whether the price will stay that way, right? But we know that prices has gone up since 2022, right? Which is important because what happened is previously when we do a lot of HDBs, right, there's this thing called negative sale. I'll touch a bit on that later. But this is just to show you that HDB prices of has crossed 1 million in the Bukit Batok area, right? So especially a lot of the EAs, the EMs, they are reaching the $1 million mark. Okay, so these are actually very valuable HDBs, and people are willing to pay a price premium for these units. Right? Also, not just in Bukit Batok, in nearby estates such as the Jalibu, Bukit Panjang area, and nearby Toi, the Clementi area, there's a lot of flats costing 1 million. So with HDBs crossing 1 million, I think EC at 1.5 million will be the norm moving forward, right? So in the past, a lot of HDB owners face negative sales issue because when they bought it in at a peak in 2010 to 2013. They bought it at a peak. So HDB from the previous chart that you saw was on a downtrend for many years. So now the HDB prices has went up quite a bit. So they are less issues of negative sales. In fact, most of them have seen a good capital gains for their HDB, right? So at the current HDB market, next it might be a good time to exit, right? Before the market changes, we never know, right? But I think now will be the best time because EC price at the current moment will be lower than future ECs, and yet HDB prices are high now. And if you wait longer, like I mentioned just now, your loan will become shorter and you can loan lesser, right? So if you're eligible now, why not? Right? So just look back at the EC prices. You know, at Copenhagen, when we launched at 1,003, everyone was saying, "Whoa, crazy, EC so expensive," right? But now you're seeing 1,004, 1,005, which is the norm already, right? So the earlier you start, the lower the price and the monthly installment. So demand and supply dynamics for ECs. Demand always comes from HDB upgraders, because if you own a condo, you need to sell it, wait for 30 months, and if you're still eligible, then you can apply for EC, right? So we need to take a look at the demand and supply of ECs. So at the start of the year, before Lumina Grand actually launched, right, what we have was actually North Gaia available 251 units, Altura 39 units, and Lumina Grand, before it was launched, we had 512 units. Right, so total we have a supply in January 2024, 802 units. So what happens today? So in August 2024, the units available at North Gaia only left 76, Altura 23, Lumina Grand 114. So if I add in the Novo Place, right, which is upcoming, maybe 508 units, total is 722 units. This is even lesser than what we have at the start of the year. And we are still selling units every day, right? Because after the first month launch, right, there's no need to ballot anymore. If you're eligible, you can just submit your e-application to your agents, and then you can buy a unit straight away. So the number of units sold from January until July was about 589 units, right? So the rate of replacement for new EC land, right, is actually quite slow. In fact, I'm not sure if you are aware, every time HDB release a plot of EC land, the developer can only launch it 15 months later. So if you hear of any EC launch now, right, the launch that the developer bid for a land, the launch will be, you know, almost 1.5 years later, right? So it will take quite a period for the EC to launch, right? So based on the current stocks that we have, it is really very limited. So, and as a like any upcoming one, right, if you're a second timer, you still need to ballot, right? So you might not be able to get your choice unit, but of course you still can do so if you would like to, because that's the only way to buy. So for ECs, if you are a second timer, you can consider the existing launches, which you do not need to ballot at all. So what causes this supply shortage? If you've seen the HDB, the number of units that matches its MOP every year from I think the surge began in 2019, you know, and then of course during COVID got a bit of delay and all, but the number of MOP HDB is actually quite a lot every year. At least 10,000 units of MOP throughout Singapore will reach its MOP every year. So once MOP, a lot of people will actually decide, hey, should I upgrade? And what are my options? So a lot of them will be looking at ECs, especially if their income fall within the eligibility range, right? So a lot of people ask, okay, so next time I sell my EC, I can sell to who? Of course, right opposite Bukit Batok, we have this whole new town called Tengah. So back then in 2016, they launched, they informed the Singapore that, hey, there's this Tengah coming up. The first batch of PTOs will be launching there. So I'm not going to dive too much, but I just want to say total there'll be about 42,000 new homes there. So out of this 42,000 new homes, there will be 29,000 units of HDBs. These are your future buyers if you intend to sell it someday. So you don't need to worry about selling your EC next time, because there are a lot of future upgraders. Right, there will also be about 30% private housing, which will inevitably push up the prices of property in that area because of what we call a first mover advantage, right? So these are some of the exit plans that you might have if you think that after a certain years, I don't want to stay there anymore, I can move out. Who's going to buy from me? Yeah, so you don't have to worry too much because there's a whole new town coming up right opposite your place. So in conclusion, demand will continue to outstrip supply for the ECs based on the current number of ECs that we have, the upcoming one. As compared to the number of MOP HDBs, right? We are a very small number, and it's still quite a significant number of upcoming MOP houses, right? So scarcity will always drive up demand and prices, right? So these are some of the source where you can say, hey, what are the BTOs that's going to MOP, okay? So next, I would like to touch on government policies. So what government, because HDB, dictates how EC should be priced and where are they going to sell. So before we go into that, I just like to highlight on certain, this thing called the Plus, Standard, and Prime, the new HDB model to curb the lottery effect. So based on this lottery effect, the government wants prices in certain area to stay within affordable range for many HDB buyers. So what I'm seeing is that on average, EC buyers makes about 300K, but even now I'm seeing certain ECs, they make 800K, 80% capital gains, right, upon the 5 years MOP. So just like all this Prime Plus model, will EC be the next to have a 10 years MOP just to keep private property prices low, right? Will there be a subsidy recovery, right? If you sell your EC, will there be a 6% or 9% callback in future? And like what some of the Plus and Prime, you cannot rent it out. Even after you fulfill the MOP, you can only sell it, you cannot rent it out. So as of today, the ECs that are available in the market do not have any of this restriction. As EC prices continue to rise, they might consider to impose this on future EC, which will, right? I'll touch a bit on what will happen on the consequences. So these are some of the BTOs near Lumina Grand, Altura. Most of it is standard. So when Lumina Grand or Altura meets its MOP, you will have a huge pool of buyers from the nearby standard HDBs, and they do not have to wait 10 years from MOP, right? So you will have a very safe exit strategy if you decide to sell when Lumina Grand or Altura meets its MOP. So okay, so I come to the consequences now. So the household income ceiling cap for a resale buyer is a Plus or Prime. It effectively limits all these people to buy, right? So if let's say EC will impose all these measures as well for the future launches, I'm just saying, if they decide to impose all these measures on income cap for when you meet your MOP for EC, you cannot sell to people who income exceeds 16K, right? So this one will limit your potential upside, which is what's happening to the Plus and Prime models. So this thing might happen. I'm not saying it will, but since it's already there, the government might just impose this on ECs. So buy now rather than wait for it to happen. So the next one is the 10 years MOP shorten the runway. So imagine you're 30 years old this year, you decide to book a Prime or Plus, and then you need to wait for 5 years. And then by the time you can sell after the 10 years MOP, you'll be already 45 years old. So remember the loan part that I shared with you earlier, you can only loan up to 65 years old. Then after that, you need to plan again. So if you want to take a 15 years to upgrade to your next home, it will be quite a long process, right? Because the current buyers, they only need like 5-10 years, 5 years to upgrade. And instead of 5 years, you take 15 years to upgrade, right? Or maybe lesser than that. So your bank loan will be shrink. So you need to take out more down payment in the future, and 15 years later, property prices really will be different from the current prices, right? So if you are older buyer who buy your plus or prime flat, the more disadvantage you will be if you decide to upgrade after the 10 years MOP, right? So the last but not least, if you cannot rent out your units for a plus or prime, so there are a lot of buyers willing to pay ABSD, and then rent out their HDB while purchasing the next private property. There are actually buyers that we met that actually say, I want to keep my HDB. I don't mind paying the ABSD. For prime and plus, you can't even rent it out. So that means if you want to buy another property, you have to sell that, right? So what if they impose this thing for EC? As of the current moment, there's no such rule for ECs, but never say never. If government decides to implement this on ECs, then we have a problem in future. But this is not happening yet. So before these things happen, I will encourage you to consider, because for ECs is we have a lot of buyers who buy, and then they decide to decouple and buy another property, and then they can, have a passive income after it meets with MOP, right? So what I'm trying to say for these government policies for the plus and primes, because of the profit that we see for ECs is very similar to all these plus and good location HDBs, right? There might be a chance for government to impose these similar measures for ECs. As you can see that this article also came out in the Business Times. So they were actually considering building executive condos in prime location. So every time something comes out in the newspaper, right, some things might happen. So if they really, by the time they really come out with this, right, I'm sure that they have a lot of more funny measures that will actually limit the price growth of this, and your income will need to be considerably higher to actually enter into the EC market. So what's available now can, if you just work on your finances with your agent, you can buy before you are priced out or you are no longer eligible, right? So I came to the end of my slides. I think I will pass the time over to James. So thank you, everyone. So over to you, James.
Thank you, Jackie. Okay, so thank you, Jackie, for the very insightful analysis on generally EC purchasing part, the financial part of things, and also the government policies that will affect how EC buyers will be affected in the future, and the existing EC buyers and the future EC buyers as well. So this part of my presentation, I'm going to go through with you an in-depth analysis on the EC land prices, the current ones and the future ones as well. All right, then I will go through with you the profitability part that Jackie mentioned, and exactly how profitable is EC that the government may even consider controlling it with the plus and prime model. Okay, so, and I also give you examples on if you can buy now, why you should buy now the existing ones, and give you 3 simple steps, okay, on how to identify the right property to buy. Then after saying all this, right, on what to buy, I hope I can tell you where to buy as well. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to start my presentation. Okay, so this is a EC land analysis that I'm going to go through with you very shortly. Give me a minute. Oh no, I stop share again. It's been some time since we have done it now. Okay, so forgive us. Okay. All right, so let me minimize this first. Okay, some in-depth price analysis. So back in 2020, there were a lot of rumors going on that after the North Gaia EC was launched, future EC prices were expected to be priced around 1,005. So did it come true? Okay, let's take a look. So this is North Gaia here. If you follow my mouse cursor, okay, known as North Gaia in Yishun. Okay, selling out soon, not much units left. They were averaging about 1,317 per square feet. Now, all right, then thereafter, the rumors came true, okay, that when we started to launch Kopen Grand in Tengah itself, it was completely sold out in a month, okay, and the price was $1,505 per square feet. All right. So, and then after Copen Grand was launched, tenant came about in Tampines, and it was also fully sold. Okay, around the price, averaging price about 1,438 per square feet, which is around 1,005 lah. So right after tenant, right, Altura came along. They are late last year, okay, and we are left with only a few units left there as well. So they are averaging prices about 1,476. So all these rumors that when each EC launch will outdo each another one in the future. So all these rumors come to fruition because of the expectations from developer and also the controlled supply of EC within Singapore itself. That is why prices are escalating last year. And how about this year? And how about the future as well? So what will happen to prices this year and what will happen to prices next year? Let's take a look. All right, so this is a Lumina Grand, okay, seated right next to Altura itself. We are about 78% sold, okay. We are averaging price is about $1,514 per square feet. So if you think that this is expensive, all right, then take a look at in the very near future when another new EC is going to launch right opposite Lumina Grand, which is called Plantation. Now it's called Novo, okay, at Tengah Estate itself. Their land price is about 703. All right, so thereafter, another developer came in and bid it for the Tampines land, okay, and the winning price was $721 per square feet per plot ratio. And another land was sold at Plantation again by the same developer at 701. So if you can see, all right, if this developer here of Lumina Grand has bid for it at 626, and people are absorbing the price of $1,514 per square feet averagely for this year, what do you think the price of the Plantation EC will be? And what do you think the price of the Tampines EC will be? And thereafter, another Plantation EC itself. So going forward, it is not a robot, you don't need a robot scientist to figure this out, that the prices of EC will escalate, okay? And it is expected, rumors again, and I tell you before, rumors always come true when it comes to pricing, is expected to be priced around 1,006. So if you can afford it and it's within your means, speak to our ERA salesperson. They will tell you where to buy now, okay, and that you can have a first mover advantage in the western part of Singapore. All right. Okay, so executive condominium, very high profitability. How profitable are they? Let's take a look. Okay, so I took some of the recent transactions of resale EC that just achieved their minimum occupation period, and specifically in the West, because we are talking about Lumina Grand. All right, so I took Seoul Acres. Seoul Acres is located in Choa Chu Kang, right next to ITE West. Okay, ITE West. Location-wise, not near the train station, probably opposite an LRT station. The nearest place you can buy your salt drink, probably the petrol station that's right underneath Seoul Acres itself. So when my brother, who is the owner of Seoul Acres, wanted to buy Seoul Acres, I was scratching my head. But then I told him, okay lah, EC, you cannot make mistake lah. But I didn't know he can make so much from the transaction itself. Let's take a look. In 19 March this year, 2024, someone made a decent profit of 932,000. All right, 932,000, almost $1 million profit from the sale of his 5-bedroom. All right, so in April, 800 plus, October last year, about 800 plus. So you can see averagely Seoul Acres owners itself, when they sell at MOP, they're making about 800 over 1,000. So what is that in terms of annualized gains? So we are looking at about at least a 7%. So every year, okay, you own a Seoul Acres unit, right? You're gaining 7% annually for the past 8 years. Okay, so this is how obscene profitability of ECs can be. So this is Seoul Acres itself. Wonderville, which is closer to the train station, all right? Wonderville is closer to the train station, also just MOP last year, late last year and this year itself. They were also making about 700 to 800 over 1,000. Annualized gains is about 7% over as well. So you can see from here that ECs in the West, when they are new, when they are in the resale mode, when MOP is achieved, they are making decent amount of profit, all right, from the resale itself. So this is Wonderville. And Blossom, which is in Bukit Panjang, also in the West itself, they are making around 700 over 1,000 kind of profit as well after MOP is achieved. So in terms of annualized gains, about 5.5% itself. So every year they're getting 5.5. So this is how profitable ECs are in the West itself. Probably also because, like how Jackie mentioned earlier, he explained because there are a lot of upgraders of HDB upgraders around this town itself. So probably these upgraders are supporting all these transactions so as to fulfill, okay, their, their desire to own a condominium for their family. Okay. All right. So why should you buy now and not later? Let's analyze this. Let's analyze this. Okay, so this is Provence Residence. Provence Residence is up in the north in the Sembawang region called Canberra. Okay, a very new township at that time, and also a new MRT station was built just to support that township itself. So when we launched Provence Residence in 2021, okay, this unit was sold at 1.066 at 1152 per square feet. All right, and then this buyer itself, their unit was aborted. Very likely, probably girlfriend, boyfriend, they broke up, so they cannot form the nucleus anymore. They gave up the unit. The developer resold it, okay, in 2024. And guess what? Okay, the developer sold it in 2024, making a decent profit of 332,000. So if you can buy now, okay, the existing stocks, better do, because statistics and history has proven, all right, that if you get something later after the launch, or even way after the launch, in 2-3 years later, you will probably have to pay a much higher price, because this kind of price, it is what is reflected in the current market. So developer, when they sell aborted units, they won't be selling at the original price when they launched 2-3 years ago. They will very likely be selling at what is the current price now. So if you're getting something at 1,500 now, probably 3 years later, you're getting at 1,600, 1,700. So don't miss that chance. Okay, so if you have the ability to do so, and if you have the desire to do so, all right, so do consider the existing stocks of ECs available at, in Singapore itself. So that is one example, 0520. At Provence itself, another unit got aborted. This is on the second floor. So in 2021 itself, it was sold at 1.191 million. And then it was aborted, and the developer threw it out again and sold in 2024 January this year. And guess what? It wasn't sold at 1,141. It was sold at $1,463 per square feet. And that is a price increment of 337,000. How hard it is to earn 300 over 1,000 over a span of 3 years. So this is how much, okay, that you have to pay if you delay the purchase, if you are able to do so now. Okay, so that is in the north. How about in the northeast? Park Greenwich. Park Greenwich is located in Sengkang. Okay, Park Greenwich is located in Sengkang. Someone in 2021 bought this for 1.272. And then when it was aborted, right, this year in March itself, developer sold it for 1.558. That is a whopping close to $300 price increase. How about 0132? Likewise, in 2021, this chap bought it at 1.3 mil. Okay, and then the case got aborted, resold by the developer again in 2024 this year, March, and the price increased up to 1.508. That is about a whopping 200,000 price difference. So you can see from here that if you go in later, and then if you want something new for the month and you want to buy something direct from the developer, you are going to pay a hefty price for it, because trends for the past 10 years, like what Eugene mentioned earlier, I've been doing this for the longest time for EC. I've only seen EC prices escalate upwards, and not from resale point, even during the sale by developer itself. Because developer, when they price their aborted units, right, they will look at the current market condition. They don't look at what I sold last time. They will maximize their profit out, and they know that buyers are able to absorb 1,500, 1,600, 1,700 per square feet for EC. The desire is there. So when they start to sell, they will sell at the current market rate. I think this goes for HDB as well. Okay, so it is no secret that if sales are balanced flat, right, they are, although subsidized, yes, for sure they are subsidized, but they are packed, okay, to the current market condition. So just sharing with you, I've got this friend who bought, two friends actually, who bought Duxton at Pinnacle. No, Pinnacle Duxton. One entered during the initial launch date. That means when they were balloting that time, right? He successfully balloted for 300,000. Another friend of mine bought another block, okay, on a slightly lower floor, okay. Same likewise, 3 years, it's a sale of balance flat. So 2 years later, he managed to get the SOB, sale of balance flat. But guess what? He paid about 500,000. So the same thing, this rule applies. Okay, this rule applies thoroughly throughout the real estate sector in Singapore. If someone were to resell a unit directly to you, they won't be selling at the past price. They will sell at the current price. So this is Park Greenwich. Okay, then how about Tampines? Okay, so Tampines, the developer tried to hide the past transaction, how much they sold, but I managed to dig it out for you because you're all our esteemed ERA guests here that's listening to us. Park Central Residences, okay, Tampines, TOP just recently, okay. This person bought in 2021. You see, 2021 there were a lot of launches, okay, for 1.459, okay, but the developer sold it this year, the aborted unit, for 1.923. That is close to $500,000 price increment within a span of 3 years. Okay, so likewise for 0136, if you follow my cursor here, when this person bought in 2021, when it was launched, it was about 1.040. And when it was resold this year, it was 1.356. Again, another 300,000 gain. Likewise for 0112, a patio unit, okay, when it was purchased in 2021, it's about 1.19 currently, and it was resold this year in April by the developer at 1.439, a whopping 320,000 difference. So if you can buy now, my heartfelt, okay, advice to you is please do so now. Okay, so 3 simple steps. Don't need to go through too many things that in mind, that what to buy, where to buy, how to buy, and what should I buy, the best deal in town. All Singaporeans are likewise. We like to queue up, we like the best food, okay, we like our value for money. Okay, so let me give you 3 simple steps how to identify the right property to buy. First step, the property must be the lowest and the safest entry price when compared to the surrounding prices. So how do we identify that? Let's do this. Okay, when Lumina, okay, you can see here, just now Jackie mentioned 20%. I beg to differ here. My statistics show new launches, comparing new launches, apple to apple, I cannot be comparing a new launch to a resale condo. Okay, why? Because it's like comparing a brand new Mercedes E-Class in cycle and carriage with a resale E-Class from Caro. Okay, it is not comparable this way. So you have to compare, apples to apples. So new launches, let's compare all new launches. So if you can see from here, upcoming ECs are generally about 40% lower than the comparable new launches around them. So let's take a look at Lumina Grand. I told you Lumina Grand was about $1,514 per square feet. Okay, averagely sold, okay, in the development itself. So I compare in the West, all the new launches in the West, you can visit with our ERA salesperson. Lake Garden Residences, okay, averagely about 2,121 per square feet. Jayden in Jurong East, this is the top of the town last year. It was wham bam, almost fully sold, okay, at $2,476 per square feet. My God, 10 years ago, this would be the price in Orchard. Okay, Sora, another new launch, okay, in the West itself, is averaging about 2,142. So if I take whatever that is sold in Lumina Grand and compare with these 3 new launches that you can get in Singapore, there are about 40 to 60% difference. So that is how you identify the right property to buy. Because when we start to buy something at the lower rate, okay, then there appears when these facilities are the same, you get the same porcelain tiles, you get your vinyl flooring, you get your security, you get your swimming pool, you get your gym. Then, as Singaporean, the privileged class, you should consider an EC. Okay, the current one. And Lumina Grand do have some choice units for you. Okay, so let's do a 3-bedroom comparison between Lumina Grand and Sora. Okay, so if you can follow my mouse cursor here, Lumina Grand, okay, A10338, price is about 1.447 mil. All right, whereas Sora at 1,098, same third floor to third floor comparison, apple to apple, I promise you, right? Is selling about 2.440. So there is a 69% difference between a 3-bedroom at Lumina Grand and a 3-bedroom at Sora. Okay, and in 69% difference, if you quantify it in terms of numbers, it's about $1 million difference. Okay, so that is the amazing part why Singaporeans buy ECs. Okay, despite the MSR, despite the eligibility issue, they try to overcome it. Die also they want to buy, simply because when they enter into an EC show flat and when they enter into a private show flat, they can see a marked difference in price. All right, so per square feet wise, it's about $745 per square feet. All right, so let's compare a 4-bedroom. Sorry, it's been some time since I do Zoom, so the screen is all blocking me. Okay, so 4-bedroom comparison. Lumina Grand, a B3 model on the 3rd floor as well, going for 1.818. So how about Lake Garden? Lake Garden, about on the 3rd floor as well, is selling about 2.880 mil. the difference is close to 60%, and the price difference is close to 1.062 mil. In terms of per square feet, it's 714. So you can see from here, if you're upgrader, if you want the one more room for your family, from a 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom, then you must consider a unit at Lumina Grand itself, because that gives you a distinct price advantage when you get an EC called Lumina Grand in Singapore itself. Okay, so that's step number one. Step number one, lowest entry price, safest entry price. Step number two, you must always try to buy somewhere a property that is within a young and thriving township and within a transforming district as well. Why? Because a transforming district attracts work, attracts people to work there. And when people start to work there, they will start to look for real estate to rent and start for real estate to buy. All right. A young and thriving township is important as well, because all these BTO owners that you see, they cannot buy EC, unlike you. Why? Because they are tied with the minimum occupation period of 5 years. So they cannot buy an EC. They already got one-time subsidized really. So if you are the privileged ones now that can buy, do so now. Because these young people who own all these MOP units, and how Jackie mentioned earlier, these people will upgrade themselves to a condo just to fulfill their lifestyle, or some even keep their current HDB flat to buy a resale EC so they can rent it out. Okay, these are the people with the ability to buy, because they're young, their loan will be longer, they can take a longer tenure, they can take a bigger loan, okay, with a stable income. All right, so let's do this analysis. So, my apologies. So, right here, this is where Lumina Grand is. Okay, this is where Lumina Grand is. Okay, we like Jackie mentioned earlier, we are in Bukit Batok, but right opposite us, just across this Bukit Batok road, right opposite us, this is the crown jewel of the West, the Tengah Estate itself. Okay, Tengah Estate itself, and plus all these BTOs here that is achieving MOP soon now within Bukit Batok itself, it adds up to be of 44,000 BTOs within Lumina Grand itself. So this gives you a confidence that your resale buy next time will be coming from here, because these are not your competitors. These are your future buyers itself, because they cannot buy EC. They must stay in their current flat for 5 years before they can start considering upgrading themselves to a condominium. So these will be the potential owners. Why do I say that? Okay, because as parent myself, I would tend to move somewhere, okay, where my children, my 2 girls, are into a primary school itself. Primary school is critical for any school-going children itself, because this is the foundation stage of their learning stage. Okay, so when a young family starts to, reproduce and become bigger, the family, the parents will consider putting them in schools near where they stay. Okay, so that the poor kid don't have to travel 1-2 hours, and especially as parent, they call me Grab Dad, okay, because I fetch my children to school all day long. Okay, so because as a Grab Dad, I also don't want to wake up too early, right, like 5 o'clock in the morning, just to bring my girl to a 10-20 kilometer away primary school itself. So I have a tendency to put where the good schools are within the Bukit Batok itself, tendency to move there. So when I move next time, I will also move near where the primary school and secondary school will be. All right, so this is one of the key reasons why you should buy within a thriving and young township itself, where there are young resale buyers out there that are able to support the transactions that you want in the future for your resale EC. Okay, transforming town, it is no secret. Jurong Lake District, you all know. Jurong Innovation District, you all know. 95,000 job in JID itself, 100,000 new job in the Jurong Lake District itself. So all this will attract demand for real estate, whether in terms of rental or whether in terms of purchase. And Lumina Grand is smack right in the middle of this JLD and JID itself. Okay, step number 3. So step 1, lowest, safest entry price. Step 2 is buy within a thriving town and a developing district. Step number 3, use policies, land sales, and market signals to decide. How do we do that? First and foremost, if you don't know by now, okay, then it is my job to tell you. But if you know, but don't know too well about it, it is my job to tell you as well. 1st of June last year, the government decided, hey, we need to harmonize every single government agency's calculation of gross floor area, GFA. Okay, so SCDF can be using this, URA can be using this, BCA can be using this. Let's harmonize this. So they call this the harmonization effect. So when they start to harmonize every government agency's calculation of gross floor area, GFA in short, in 1st of June, they came out. Everyone will use the same calculation. So in a nutshell, I'm not going to bore you with the technicality of things. What happens after this harmonization? Harmonization, simply put, therefore, that developer can no longer enjoy free GFA such as your aircon ledgers and all this. They have to calculate their GFA from a certain distance from a certain wall itself. So they start to harmonize this together. And once all this harmonization took place, then there's this issue. All right. Developers are no longer given freebies. You noticed last time when you enter into resale condo, there are big balconies and big aircon ledgers. Aircon ledgers can sit right in the middle of the balcony one. Okay, because all these are free GFA that the government gives to developers so they can sell it to you, okay, at a cost, but getting it free from the government. So once all these are taken out, the developer is saying, hey, it's going to impact us by another 10%. So that means developer is telling you, if you are going to have the aircon ledge, which you really need, okay, in like the weather in Singapore, you confirm need the air conditioning in Singapore. So if you need the aircon ledge, which is a must, then I must make you pay more for it because I'm no longer getting free. By how much? The market talk is about 10%. So if this 10% is not going to be absorbed by the developer, guess what? Who is going to pay for it? You are going to be paying for it. All right. So the removal of bonus spaces will equate to higher prices. How much higher? Let's take a look. Let's take Lumina Grand 3-bedroom type A1, for example. So now currently selling at 1.38, close to 1.4. Put it this way. So a very decent looking layout itself, very nice, compact, and a very big dining hall for you to enjoy your dinner with a family, and closed kitchen itself. The moment this aircon ledge is taken away, this 10% is taken away, and the future EC which are affected by this harmonization. Lumina Grand is not affected. The future ECs are, okay, starting after Lumina Grand, after, okay? So if 10% is added cost into this, then to sell you the same 936 square feet home that you are buying from the developer, they will have to sell you at 1.528. Right? So you can see immediately there is a marked difference of about 130 over 1,000 really. Okay, because of this 10%. And 10% is minimum. Okay, because you haven't factored in interest rate, you haven't factored in increased construction cost, you haven't factored in all the Indian workers, the Chinese workers that are helping us to build a nation out together. So all this cost has increased. So minimally, the developer will likely need to sell you at least 1.528 for the same size, the same layout they want to sell to you. Okay, so this is what the future holds. Okay, so if you have the chance to buy now all those developments that may be not affected by the harmonization. If not, they do this, right, then your house will have to be smaller to maintain this price itself. Okay, so I hope I've explained clearly to you how harmonization will impact future prices. Okay, government signals. Should I wait for price to drop like Jackie mentioned earlier, or should I go ahead? Should you wait or should you go? Is it red light or green light? Okay, so there was a newspaper article that came out last month in July. The article, the title, make you seem like, hey, prices are coming down already. But let's take a closer analysis of things. Okay, lower bids for 2 suburban condo sites in Canberra, De Souza Avenue in state tenders. So our CEO, Marcus Chu, pointed out that this is about 12 to 14% lower than the winning bids for Champion Way in Woodlands and Upper Thomson site. But notice here, it is still higher, okay, about 20% higher than what was bidded 2 years ago. So you can see, although prices of land winning bidding prices are coming down a bit, it doesn't mean that it's going down to the level that was bidded 2 years ago. So read carefully, read every title of the newspaper article carefully. If you're not sure, ask our ERA salesperson. Okay, land prices are not going to come down. Okay, because they're actively bidding for land. And especially EC, because developer knows EC in Hokkien term is bao-chia. Okay, because Singaporeans know how, I don't have to tell you how profitable, how good ECs are. Okay, but they know there's a demand for ECs. They know they're constrained by the eligibility issue. They dare not price too high, but they will still fight with each other. If you come to normal land tender, GLS tender itself, there are minimally about 5 or 6 bidders from developer for an EC land, unlike a normal resale, a normal private GLS site. Okay, so read into the signal. It is not coming down. It is still higher, all right, than the past 2-3 years kind of land price within the same area itself. So going forward, just now, Jackie mentioned 30% of Tengah will be private residential, right? 70% will be public. Okay, give me a minute. Let me switch on the fan, a bit hot. Okay, so let's do this. If in the future, there's going to be a new launch in Tengah, which is going to happen in June 2024. They open Tengah Gardens for land bid. Do you think, okay, the price will be on par with Lumina Grand? No way. Because when the developer, right, sees Lumina Grand and Copen Grand selling at 1,500, 1,600, they won't be bidding at that kind of price. Okay, because they know that, you know, a private new launch are not affected by the MSR, are not affected by eligibility issues such as first-timer, second-timer resale levy. They will competitively bid for this land, which is a rare gem, because so far no land bidding for GRS has happened in Tengah before. Okay, so in June this year, they open up. It is the market rumor, market rumor, they will go beyond 2,000. So if you buy something around Tengah about 1,500, then I tell you, you have met number one step, which is buying something at a safe and a lower entry price. Okay, so what will happen to mortgage interest in 2025? Okay, UOB came out with this market report itself. They're expecting 2 drops this year by at least 0.25. One in September, you can see it's dropping already. Okay, now most of the rates are going below 3% now, and another one in December 2024. So there'll be 2 drops by 0.25 rate cuts each. So there's a dropping. So ask yourself this question. When Singaporeans feel, hey, interest rate is dropping already, it's time to enter the market, what will happen to the market itself? This is what happened last time in the past. When interest rate starts to drop, transaction volume increase. Interest rate starts to drop, transaction volume increase. So now we're at the peak, okay? It's coming down already. So now ask yourself this question. If it will happen, and it should happen this year, interest rates are dropping already, what will happen to the transactions? Transactions will increase. And if transactions increase in terms of demand itself, and supply is still so curbed for EC itself, what do you think will happen to the prices of EC in the future? So it's a penny for your thought. Okay? Okay, so that's the market talk. It is still my job now. I'll tell you what to buy really. All right, so EC is a good bet. Okay, it won't be the best, but it's a good bet itself. So today is my job, okay, to tell you where to buy. Okay, so there's this executive condominium, if you don't know yet, called Lumina Grand. It's a luxury EC derived from the Latin word lumen. Okay, the tagline for this is live greener, live brighter. Okay, who is it developed by? CDL. CDL is no stranger to a lot of Singaporeans out there. CDL, do you know, is well known for making quality and luxury product, and also most of their condos make money. Okay, this is, for me, I feel so far, most of the condos that I see when they launch, right after that, they make decent amount of profit. So this Lumina Grand is developed by CDL, a leading global real estate company with a network spanning 163 locations in 29 countries and regions. So you are in safe hands when you buy something from them. Okay, so their track record, let's concentrate on EC alone. They launched Piermont Grand, okay, which is the EC in Punggol, Criterion, the EC Yishun, Brownstone. I was the DD in charge for almost all their ECs they have launched. Okay, in Brownstone, in Sembawang, Canberra itself, Rainforest in Choa Chu Kang, Blossom in Bukit Panjang, Novo in Ang Mo Kio, and Florida in Hougang itself. So their portfolios of ECs are very strong. Besides luxury trophy assets that they sell in the District 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3 as well. Okay. All right, so where's Lumina Grand? Lumina Grand, like I showed you earlier, is along Bukit Batok Road itself, along Bukit Batok West Avenue 5, the entry point. Okay, so our show flat is here, right opposite Lakeside MRT. So make an appointment with our ERA salesperson if you want to visit the lovely show unit itself. They can sell you, they can take a few of the sizes and take a few of the facilities that is an offer for an EC. EC, okay. The facility itself, exactly no difference between a EC and a private condo. If you want the security, we have it. You want basement car park, we have it. You want tennis court, we have it. Sorry, may not be tennis court, my apologies. Swimming pool, function room, and even gym itself. All right. So there is no difference. We are located smack in the middle of the Tengah and Bukit Batok estate itself. Okay. So education, schools are important, right? So who is within one click? Most important. Take a look at this. With effect 2027, right opposite Lumina Grand, Bukit View Primary School. ACS, okay, coming on board in 2030. It's going to be a co-ed school, no longer a all-boys school. The girls are coming along the ACS in Tengah itself. In 2030, it will be within 1 kilometer from Lumina Grand itself. Okay, Tachung Primary School is about 700 meters away. St. Anthony's Primary School is within one click itself. Okay, so in terms of school, you are not spoiled for choices. In fact, okay, there are good schools like ACS is coming on board. So this gives you a classic first mover advantage if you go in now itself. Okay, are schools that important? Of course. All right. So in this article that was written by Christine San itself, it says that, okay, housing demand is strengthened when it's priced within good schools. He didn't say MRT, he said good schools. Schools are important because housing demand is strengthened because like all parents, they would like to move very close to good school itself. So they have a chance of registering their children for that school itself. So ACS is coming on board. So you can see an influx there. Premium price of 15%. Faster appreciation for nearby schools if you are reaping good investment returns. Double-digit price growth, okay, as it is now, EC, even without near good school, already double-digit. So we are near a good school, probably you'll go even higher. Probably. And of course, better rental demand. So next time, if you buy Lumina Grand, and if you want to buy something else and rent out Lumina Grand, rental is not an issue because it's near a very good school. Okay, so in terms of public transport, Lumina Grand is close to Tengah Plantation MRT, which is coming on board soon. The Jurong Regional Line, Tengah Park. Okay, North-South Line, we have Bukit Gombak and Bukit Batok MRT station interchanging at Jurong East itself. So the green line and the red line itself. Okay, so this is important to understand Jurong Region Line. Okay, for me, I feel it's important because Lumina Grand will be connected directly to NTU. So from primary school to secondary school to junior college, all the way to university, Lumina Grand residents can take a train station now to right into NTU in the future itself. And Lumina Grand will be connected to Jurong East interchange and can let you travel to tertiary institutions in the West, such as Singapore Poly, Ngee Poly, and the National University of Singapore. So you have to understand why Jurong Regional Line is important. Okay? Green mark. Okay, it was just recently I spoke to my colleagues, right? They were telling me that the government is really giving, freebies, okay, lower interest rate to those household that's able to prove they own three ticks, 4 ticks kind of household appliances itself. Green mark platinum, super low energy awarded by BCA to Lumina Grand itself. Okay, in a nutshell, there's a cool design itself. The development is designed to minimize direct west sun itself. Units are designed with enough openings to obtain high cross ventilation wind, and the units are designed with balconies that feature a good selection of glass specification to minimize heat. Okay, environmental quality itself, they use environmentally friendly products certified and approved by the local certification bodies for internal finishes. Water efficiency, it is water efficient fittings are provided for all units, so you can actually lower your utility cost itself when you own a unit at Lumina Grand. Energy efficient, not only water, energy as well. They use energy efficient air conditioner for all units itself, at least 3 to 4 ticks, so you can actually speak to the bank when it comes at TOP itself. You can lower your interest rate itself from there. You can talk to them how you can use the green mark, okay, for certain packages itself. Other green features, we have luxurious greenery and water bodies within the development to reduce heat gain into the building itself. Okay, we have a total of 39 facilities, nothing lacking. Tennis court, swimming pool, gym, function room, you name it, we have it. Okay, no difference with a private condo itself, but price significantly at least 40% lower than another new launch within the West itself. Okay, so the general unit common features that we have, ceiling height is typically 2.76 for a typical unit itself. For our penthouses, which is sold out now, it's about 4.8 meters. What is most important? The flooring finishes is porcelain tiles and vinyl strips itself. Now, space within the main door for footwear, tall boy cabinet except type A1 and A2, power point at the balcony in the event you want to charge your bikes or you want to charge your, some actually put their washing machine at the balcony itself. All common bedroom can fit a queen size bed in, hackable walls for configurable spaces in case you want something bigger, low emission coated windows I mentioned earlier, naturally ventilated kitchen, bathroom and WC itself, master wardrobe with accessories compartment, open space top of the wardrobe for irregular size items. Bedrooms have direct access to common bathroom for B1 and B2 itself. Smart appliances by a reputable brand Couche is provided and 1 meter width spacing for fridge location. So you are not bounded by a small constrained fridge, 1 meter at least. Okay, so this is how it looks like. The unique common features itself. This is the tall boy with the DB boxes here. Master room wardrobe will look like this, and accessory compartment will look like this. Exactly what you see in a private new launch, except this is an EC. Okay, so the unique common feature for 3-bedroom, 3 bedders, we call it the Tokyo theme. It's subtle, it's timeless, it's calm, it's luxurious itself. So this is the color tone, okay, for our 3-bedroom. Our 4-bedroom will be in a Milan theme itself, elegant, sophisticated, modern, and tastefully renovated. All right, so Milan tone is slightly darker itself and very tastefully done up. Okay, so this is exactly what you will get when you buy an EC at Lumina Grand. Okay, so accessories wise, sanitation wise, is a Hansgrohe in Germany. Okay, Regal, okay, for your WC and your wash basin itself. Kitchen appliances, they use Wi-Fi enabled crochet itself. All right, so this is something very, very useful and very, very good product that you can given to you at Lumina Grand itself. Okay, let's do a bit of a 3-bedroom analysis here. This is my typical 936A1. All right, so room size, typically you can put a queen size bed in, like I mentioned to you earlier, a very wide area for your dining area itself. Okay, 23.1, your living and dining combined together. Bedroom, your master bedroom is about 11.9 here and 5.1. So this is estimated only, but it is almost there already. Why is this good? Because it is an efficient layout. All 3 bedrooms are flush in line, same facing itself with the living hall itself. A wide dining space for you to enjoy your loved ones, companionship itself. Naturally ventilated kitchen. Okay, so they're enclosed. Their windows here is naturally ventilated. So we're doing heavy duty cooking, no issue. All bedrooms can fit queen size bed, removable walls for better space planning. Like all these walls here, you can see it can be removed in the event you want to remove it. Naturally ventilated bathroom, don't have those that we come with, the hotel style kind of ventilation fan. Household shelter confirm as storage. Okay, household shelters are important now, especially for HDB upgraders like all of you. Okay, because we're so used to having a storeroom, we must have a storeroom to store our luggages and stuff like this. So at Lumina Grand, no issue at all. This is just now was A1, this is A4. All right, what is so efficient about this? You can see, okay, it is efficient a layout in the sense that the dining and living are amalgamated together. All right, same facing for the master bedroom 1, bedroom 3, and the living hall itself. Foyer area over here, okay, it comes with a tall boy provision. All right, something very useful for you to put your shoes. You can put your trophies there, your family pictures there as well. Large living and dining area space, again, is a naturally ventilated kitchen itself. Like I mentioned earlier to you, all bedrooms, the common rooms can fit in queen. The master room, of course, can fit in a king. Okay, naturally ventilated bathroom as well. Household shelter has storage. Okay, so we come to the end of our presentation. But just to summarize, why is it now or never? Because of your income eligibility. If you are sitting at between 15 to 16,000 income now, please don't procrastinate anymore. If you have a desire to own an EC, come down to Lumina Grand. This is not a plea to you. This is an advice to you. Why? Because you never know next year if your boss say, okay, Jackie, well done, I'm going to increase your pay by 1,000. Then how to buy an EC? Okay, loan eligibility is another issue. All right, because now currently you are this age. If you procrastinate 5 to 10 years later, you're getting older, your tenure gets shorter, your installment get higher. How to own an EC? Policy changes. I think just now Jackie mentioned very, very clear cut to you, the Plus and Prime model. And let me tell you, if the continued profitability that is out in the market of how ECs, even how remotely located it is, still makes so much money, then the government will open their eyes and say, I must do something about it. So what happens if EC next time, they don't allow you to rent it out? MOP is 10 years. You cannot rent out the whole place. So what will happen to future ECs then? So if this current EC is not affected, then you should go for it. Loan tenure, especially, okay, if you're getting older and older, your loan tenure gets shorter and shorter, your installment will get higher. So don't wait. If you have the desire to do so, if you have the ability to do so, talk to our ERA salesperson. Okay, they'll be able to advise you how to, purchase an EC with the different financial methods that was mentioned earlier by Jackie. And also, Lumina Grand is open daily, okay, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. So look forward to seeing you all at Lumina Grand itself. Thank you so much.
Thank
Wendy,
you,
over to you.
Thank you, James. Thank you, James. Hello, this is Wendy, ERA Project Marketing. Thank you, James and Jackie's wonderful sharing. If you are interested in any EC purchase, please contact your preferred ERA sales advisor for more information. Furthermore, we will have a ERA property mega show on this upcoming weekend, 17 and 18 July at the ERA APEC Center. This is an event you definitely don't want to miss it. Whether you are buying, selling, or investing, we have the knowledge, the listing, and the connections to turn your property dreams into the reality. Please scan the QR code and RSVP now. We see you soon. Thank you.